welcome to season 4 of our On the Call series produced by the Stars Among Us. I'm Ozzy, as you know, and I thank you for tuning in to this thank you tour of mine, as each episode is a thank you card to someone who's impacted my life. And on this episode, which is the 9th of season 4, I'm shining light on Tracy Wilder. Hello, my dear.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing just fine. It's so good to have you on. To my audience as to who you are. Tracy has been an R&B singer in a band back in the day. So she's got some of those, which I wish I had. She has been into hair. She's also worked with the airlines, Pan Am, United. And then she's also been in Verizon.
Right, I worked for Verizon Wireless for about 7 years, something.
Right.
It was very long.
And then got into acting. My question on this is, what was the thing that got you into acting?
I did acting when I was a kid. I belonged to the UB Blake Children's Theater in the city. And this was like in, I want to say 1978, 79. And they are the children's theater of the Amos Repertory Theater. So I did that for, I want to say maybe 5 years through my, I call teen time, where I was heavily into theater and dance and music. That's when the acting bug actually started. I was in a band for a few years in the 80s, and then with my ex-husband, things didn't work out, and somebody had to feed the kids. So I basically took a hiatus off of my dream to feed some people and keep the lights on. At 40, I figured out what I was going to be, and I don't know if I ever told you this. I had cancer, and I had thyroid cancer. I never told you this.
No.
And when you are a single parent of kids, and sometimes you don't know if you're going to make it, and then when you do, you get this grand epiphany, it's time for me to do what I want to do. So at 40, I figured out what I was going to be when I grew up, made some changes in my career, dove headfirst into acting, and I kind of been there ever since.
And still loving it.
Oh yeah, every year it's like a marriage, a good marriage. It's like every year is better and better. Every year you learn and network with more and more great people, and I love what I do. Yes, there's sometimes when it's super busy, and there's sometimes where it's cricket city. I love what I do. And I'm so happy. I feel very content. I feel so blessed.
You've been involved in print work, voiceover, films. The last time we spoke, you'd mentioned voiceovers. How has that been since COVID happened? Has it been more business? Has it been less? Has it been the same?
It's been about the same. As you know, with all of the auditions that we have to do now, we do a lot of work from home, a lot of self-tapes and auditions and stuff. I have my closet in my bedroom gutted out where I have soundproofing on, and that's where my mic is, where I hook the laptop in, and that's where my little voiceover booth, when I have to submit myself for things, that's where it all happens. And I love it. And matter of fact, last week I went back for a second term for a video game that I'm on. It's called Knockout City, where they invited me to do 2 more characters. And we had such a good time. It's like, I almost wanted to say, people are paying me for this. It's like just to act like a fool and act like a nut, and I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Now, you've also been involved with a couple of Netflix projects.
I was a stand-in, and I had a little tiny role that most of it got put on the cutting room floor on the 40-year-old version with Rada Blank.
And that particular show had rave reviews.
Yes, rave reviews. Rada Blank is my first cousin. Our family, we are so proud of her, and which I know the struggle I know what she's been going through. Not only are we cousins, we're friends, like hang out, eat, go to dinner, have a drink, that type of thing. And just I knew about the project before it happened. Just it's like having a baby. You can see the growth and the progression, and so proud.
You also produced a special piece called Man of the House.
Yes.
Now, talk to the audience about what the subject is in that, and how it relates to what has happened in the world that we're living in now.
Okay. Man of the House is a autobiographical story about a little boy whose father commits suicide, and the aftermath of the family having to get it together and thrive and continue to live. This is the story of John Palomino from Nourishville, New York. And John Jr. is my cousin, and he's an actor as well. And this was a project of love, labor of love and of healing that he brought forth. And I have a role in that, and an acting role, and I helped produce the project. Not only is it a story about suicide and thriving afterwards, we discuss this usually with a panel of mental health professionals, and we've gone all around the U.S. To promote this and to bring awareness to mental health issues and suicide prevention, a way to help our people help ourselves, and to bring the conversation out there. So it's not only, it's short, movie's about 19 and a half minutes long, but it's the conversation afterwards that was so important to continue the message and bring the awareness to the forefront.
Now, was this a scenario where the young man actually witnessed the suicide?
Nope, he did not witness it, but
at what age did it happen?
I think it was 6 years old, and it happened when Johnny was home by himself, and he unfortunately, met his demise, and he was discovered by family members. They were all supposed to go out to someplace, and he never showed up, so they went looking for him, and then they found him. But it was just the whole point of he had a mother, and although she's not in the story, a little sister. So just how this new family of 3 has to go to therapy and has to heal.
What are the type of organizations you've addressed this with?
Oh boy, we did one at the NAMI, which is the National American Mental Health Association. We were at the big conference in Miami. We've worked with the NYPD and done screenings for them. We've done screenings at a few colleges around the country. We've done things for Jack and Jill organizations. I believe it is still being shown on the UMC channel, the streaming channel.
That's the Urban Movie Channel, right?
Yes.
One of the reasons I brought that up too is that the number of suicides that occurred since COVID happened have risen dramatically.
Right.
When was the last time that it was screened? Has it impacted?
The last one that I participated on was with the NYPD, and this was just before COVID. I know John is still active, and he lives in the Atlanta area, and he's a part of filmmakers organizations and suicide awareness things in that area. And I think he's done a few. So
many things that happened within the last year, right? The last year and a half. And so last year it was George Floyd, white on black. Right? This year it's Rittenhouse, white on white. What are your thoughts about that?
It's funny. I just was watching the news just before you and I started talking, and I'm just shaking my head saying, holy Jesus. You would feel that as being I call the child of the 60s, things would be going in a different direction. And it feels like things have gone backwards. And that's the part that scares the bejesus out of me. I think what happens is that it was always there, but in certain areas it was more prevalent. But it's become in everybody's face in the last year and a half. And it just kills me. How the injustice of how one group of people are charged with a crime and how other people get off scot-free, and how things have to be labeled as alleged. You can't say he killed Ahmaud Arbery in cold blood. You have to say allegedly, which is, I'm trying to
yes.
try not to let my Salem out do the talking right now. But it's just like, come on. And the thing is about the Rittenhouse disaster is that his two victims were white.
Correct.
And I'm like, watch him get in more trouble with them. I mean, I don't want to see anybody's son go down. As a mother of sons and grandsons, I don't want that to happen to anybody, but it just kills me that unfortunately it has to take a life of a human to make corrections.
Right.
Someone to be the martyr in this. It is just crazy.
Right. So I have a question, because I have not received my veggies yet. How is that lawn?
Oh God! Right now things are covered with leaves.
Did you have a good season?
It went all right.
Yeah,
I think I did. The tomatoes were okay, and what else? The thing is, which I am still eating that are in the freezer. Like, yes, I did grow some callaloo. And
whoa!
Oh yeah, girl. So we
whoa! Now I'm upset.
But I'm trying. What happens with the garden is like usually in the months of June and May, you get all enthused. But when the heat starts kicking in, you start getting tired and don't get busy with work. It's like, oh man, did I water today? You know,
right.
Not saying you lose interest, but that enthusiasm is not the same in August as it is in May. So.
Okay. Prior to COVID, I knew that you're like you said, getting a lot of jobs and things were progressing really nicely. It was just the same thing with me. How is 2020 as opposed to 2021? Job-wise, casting, bookings-wise,
They were both 2 great years. And it's funny, as you know, we had, as a member of SAG, we have to pay our dues like a couple times a year. And when I was looking at it, I was like, Jesus, really? I made that much? I mean, it's like, thank God. So
right.
No, things are progressively getting, each year for me, they get better and better. And
right.
That's the part that I love. They were both 2 great years. And if anything, once the lockdown stopped, you know, things were back in step. And thank God, you know, I used to hate doing self-tapes, but I love them now.
And it's something that we can do for quite a while. Just we progress in age, we can continue working.
Oh, yeah. Always somebody's mama, grandmama, you know, or that type of thing, or just everybody in the world was not 23. And a size 4. And so, or 0. And that's that's a whole nother conversation for another day. We're not limited. And you want to go for it, you do it. I mean, I'll say for myself, I usually do things that are 10 years older because I have a head full of gray hair, but I take whatever they give me.
Do you have any pet peeves about the self-tape or what's happening with, you know, around what we have to do to submit ourselves?
Sometimes when you have multiple finish lines and they all have the same deadline, that can be a little difficult. That's one thing that gets on my nerves. It's like, so what I usually try to do is, like, as soon as I get it, I try to kick it out. I try never to wait to the last minute. I know they always say the the earlier you get it in, the higher you are on the heap and that type of thing. And I believe in that. So I usually try to knock things out as soon as they come in.
Have you found you picked up any extra habits or hobbies when you're not acting, when you know?
During the summer, I swim. I was wet the whole summer. I'll say from the end of June to Labor Day. Anytime that I wasn't working, and that was the other good thing about working from home, because no, I do not have a pool in my backyard, but we have like a town pool,
right?
And I lived there. I was there at least 3 or 4 times a week, at least. And I love to swim. That's my exercise that I love doing. It's very enjoyable. It's very freeing, not bad on my knees. And that's it.
What is one thing that hardly anyone knows about you?
That my kids are my life. And my kids are first. They're first in my life. Then comes work. I mean, although everybody's adults and that kind of stuff, when you get that phone call at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's like, Ma, I'm like, oh shit, you're not even alone, who are you? It's like, what? But no, that my kids are everything to me, and their happiness and their success is more important than my own.
Have you learned anything within this, especially within these last 2 years, different about yourself, or has your worldview changed a little bit? Has it been skewed a little bit?
Yes, I've become more calmer, and I don't sweat the small things, and I take everything in God's stride. Like, for instance, if I'm doing a self-tape or something like that, and I can't get it right, or something's just not jiving, it's like I'm working too hard against the universe. Sometimes things aren't meant to happen. Everything that's out there is not for you. Or if I'm running late, why am I late? Why is God? I mean, I left on time. I tried to, be prepared and that type of thing. There's a space that we're supposed to be in, and a timing, and you have to feel it. You have to move in the rhythm of God, and don't take everything so damn seriously. I think that happens when you get older. You really don't give a rat's ass about a lot of things like about you before, that would make you go, oh my God. Now it's like, oh yeah? You think that's bad? Let me tell you this one, So you become very not callous, but I mean, you don't sweat the small stuff.
Right. I really wanted to talk to you because this particular season has a thread, and the thread is the people who've impacted my life, but more so my son's life, and what happened in 2017. They're not even the words to. You were a supporter, you were a friend, you were constantly asking the questions that other people would be afraid to ask or not want to ask. And one of yours, which I never forget, is how's your pocket? I never heard that phrase before. I didn't know initially in the beginning what you meant. And what happened after was just for you to be there the way you were, for my child to come from being horizontal to vertical, which was such a scary thing for me, even though I didn't always express that. But I lived in a zone that was just, it was like an antenna that's at the top of a house, and there is lightning striking. And that's how I felt.
And all I could say is, I don't know exactly how you, thank you for saying that. It's funny, a couple of weeks ago, maybe 10 months ago, a year ago, I was flipping through Facebook, and you go through what's it called, the highlights and things that happened years ago, and a picture of you and Keaton came up, and I was like, every now and then we always have these. My favorite movie is It's a Wonderful Life, and because that's always something that everybody can relate to. And I say every now and then we all have these George Bailey moments where you go, oh Jesus, why? You know, and everybody feels that way. Why me? Why is this happening to me? How come this isn't the way I want it to be? How come this one has this and I only have that? We all feel that way from time to time. And I think I was having one of those moments, and I ran across a picture of you two, and I just smiled and I said, what? And that brought tears to my eyes because I kept saying, boy, oh boy. Remember when you were going through, I call the saga, and I kept saying, it felt like you were looking down in a well and you feel like you're the only one there. And I said, no, girl, I'm standing right here next to you. Over the phone, but I'm right here. And I kept saying that to you. It's like I'm standing right by your shoulder. And that's the way I looked at it. I thank God that I was able to do what I was able to do at the time.
And audience, thank you also for your valuable time with us today. This is Tracy Wilder. Please care to share, and remember, when you're on your beat, stay on the sunny side of the street safely. Be mask conscious because it's still nuts out there. It's still real out there. Thank you, Tracy, for you, just for being you. I love you. We'll be in touch again. Thank you for this time. Thank you for all that you've done. And we will be talking soon.
Absolutely.
Love you, lady.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey there. Please help us in our mission to support those facing fatal diseases through our t-shirt sales by donating or shopping at aussiestewart.com or supporting us at anchor.fm/AussieStewart. That's ANCHOR.FM/AussieStewart. And don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel at Aussie Stewart. Yep. Leave a comment.